In time, when hunger and thirst were turned away, the muse brought to the minstrel's mind a song of heroes, whose great fame rang under heaven, the clash between Odysseus and Achilles, how one time they contended at the god feast raging, and the martial Agamemnon felt inward joy over his captain's quarrel. For such had been foretold him by Apollo in Pytho, hallowed height, when the Achaean crossed that portal of rock to ask a sign. In the old days when grim war lay ahead for Trojans and Danaans by God's will, so ran the tale the minstrel sang. Odysseus with massive hand drew his rich mantle down over his brow, cloaking his face with it, to make the Phaeacians miss the secret tears that started to his eyes. How skillfully he dried them when the song came to a pause, threw back his mantle, spilt his gout of wine. But soon the minstrel plucked his note once more to please the Phaeacian lords, who loved the song. Then in his cloak Odysseus wept again. His tears flowed in the mantle unperceived. Only Alcinous at his elbow saw them, and caught the low groan in the man's breathing. At once he spoke to all the sea folk around him. Hear me, lords and captains of the Phaeacians, our meat is shared, our hearts are full of pleasure, from the clear harp tone that accords with feasting. Now for the field and track, we shall have trials in the pentathlon. Let our guest go home and tell his friends what champions we are at boxing, wrestling, broad jump, and foot racing. On this he led the way, and all went after. The crier unslung and pegged the shining harp, and taking Demodocus's hand, led him along with all the rest. Phaeacian peers, gay amateurs of the great games. They gained the common where a crowd was forming, and many a young athlete now came forward with seaside names like Titmast, Tityrus, Sparwood, Holman, Sternman, Beecher and Pullerman, Bluewater, Shearwater, Running Wake, Bordeley. Seabelt, son of Grand Fleet Shipwrightson, Seer each stepped up, son of the launching master, rugged as Ares, bane of men. His build excelled all but the prince Laodamas, and Laodamas made entry with his brothers Halios and Clytonius, sons of the king. The runners first must have their quarter mile, all lined up tense, then go, and down the track they raise the dust in a flying bunch, strung out longer and longer behind Prince Clytonius. But just so far as a mule team breaking ground will distance oxen, he left all behind, and came up to the crowd an easy winner. Then they made room for wrestling, grinding bouts that Seer each won, pinning the strongest men. Then the broad jump, first place went to Seabelt. Sparwood gave the discus the mightiest fling, and Prince Laodamas outboxed them all. Now it was he, the son of Alcinous, who said when they had run through these diversions, "Look here, friends, we ought to ask this stranger if he competes in something. He's no cripple. Look at his leg muscles and his forearms, neck like a bollard. Strong as a bull he seems, and not old, though he may have gone stale under the rough times he had. Nothing like the sea for wearing out the toughest man alive. Then Sea Reach took him up at once and said, Laodamas, you're right. By all the powers, go up to him yourself and put the question. At this, Alcinous' tall son advanced to the center ground, and there addressed Odysseus. Friend, Excellency, come join our competition if you are practiced, as you seem to be. While a man lives, he wins no greater honor than footwork and the skill of hands can bring him. Enter our games, then. Ease your heart of trouble. Your journey home is not far off, remember. The ship is launched, the crew all primed for sea.